Well, 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 what do we have here if not our favorite Lathan Prime, Fuba Prime, who streams on Twitch? And of course, we have Joel Madmole, who's the founder, co-owner of 7 Days to Die. You probably know both of them if you have been following the development of the game. And this is going to be an awesome video. So what they have been doing, starting to do, is go through Alpha 20. What's coming, what's not coming, what are their thoughts around it, and what have they been working on. And it's part of the developer stream. So what I'm doing, just like I did during the previous versions, I'm going to go through this, sort of synthesize it, condense it down into maybe, half an hour, because it's almost 90 minutes long, which is really, really long to watch. And if you'd like to go and see the whole video, I'm going to link that in my description below as well. If you'd like to see more about, well, not just 7 Days to Die in general, but Alpha 20 as it comes, make sure you remember to hit that subscribe button on my channel. I have something like 80 to 100,000 unique viewers every month, but only a fraction of you remember to subscribe. So make sure you subscribe. It is free, and it does allow you to easier access my content. But let's dive into it and listen to Lathan and Joel.
Welcome, everybody. We are here tonight to show you some details of Alpha 20. This is our first, what did we call it? The Dev A20 talk.
Hey, I'm Joel from the Fun Pimps, and we're here to talk about Alpha 20. So first thing is going to be a Unity update, and that will give us access to all the latest and greatest Unity features. I have no idea what that entails. I haven't really been.
I would have skipped that one.
eyeballing it, but sometimes there's good stuff in there. Optimizations, bug fixes, it's all good. So random gen. So we're going to be updating random gen. I'm sure everybody's pretty excited about that. It's going to get a big update. Vehicle mods, that's something I'm working on and I can talk about, but we can kind of save that for later because we've got a lot to cover tonight. But there will be vehicle mods coming. Shape menu, I guess that would be kind of a new way to build. All of the shapes will be unified depending on. This is a lot bigger than what I'm talking about too, but we're talking about kind of a whole new way to build, and it's going to be awesome. Totally stoked. Rick and the level designers have been working hard on nailing that down to something that's going to be really cool for builders and for players as well. So we're really excited to see how that shakes out. But beyond that, we've got dynamic imposters, and this hopefully gets in. And some of these features might get pushed out to A21, so don't count on all these features shipping with A20, but it's stuff we're actively working on right now, and if it's done on time, then it'll go into 20. If not, it'll be pushed to 21. But what dynamic imposters would be is like your distant POIs. So when you go and knock a tower down, right now currently the distant tower is still there, where this will update the imposter so that you can see changes. And I do believe that player forwards would be rendered at great distances too with this feature. So super excited, and I think everybody would really like it. And I believe the terrain and mountains would be updated as well. So to my knowledge, don't hang me if I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of the general idea of that. And then we've got a microsplat update, and that's just kind of updating the terrain shader for bug fixes and performance. I know some people have had some really poor performance with the new terrain, and this is going to help with that. And we've got a game option, Feral Sense, and that's going to allow the player to set the sensitivity of how easy the zombies can detect you and hear you and find you, and you can kind of make them dumber, or you can make them so it's like Horde Night practically, or is like Horde Night at all times. So if you want more of a challenge, you can tweak this setting and the zombies will be able to find you anywhere you are, and it would be really hard. Or you can make them dumber so they're a little easier to sneak by and all that. So I think that's going to add a lot of replayability to the game, and for those guys who want a real hardcore setting, they're going to have something that's going to help them out there. Biome progression. This is, we're going to make several biomes harder. So, and there'll be warnings for the player. Typically, when you cross the border into a tougher biome, we're going to let you know, and somehow that this is a more difficult area. And in your loot and your game stage, difficulty will basically go up. So, you know, when you go into a snow biome, it's going to be a lot harder than a forest. And then the desert will be harder. And then the wasteland will be the very hardest biome. So if you want to skip over the kind of the real primitive weapons, you know, you can head straight to the wasteland if you think you can handle the challenge, and you'd probably be able to get a lot better weapons on day one. And speaking of primitive weapons, we're adding a full set of pipe weapons. So on day one, the player will be able to craft pipe rifle, pipe pistol, pipe machine gun, pipe baton, so on and so forth. We've got all these primitive, awesome looking weapons that we're working on that's going to let players have early game weapons, but, you know, they're going to be crude, probably, you know, worse than the stuff you have right now that you do find, but, you know, you can get it on day one if you can find all the parts and craft one. So we're pretty excited about that, and then that's going to kind of complete all the weapons in the game, hopefully, for Alpha 20, and that'll be shippable. And then after that, we've got trader to trader progression, and then we've got simple water. So we're kind of reworking water to look good and perform good and not have any glitchy stuff. So, you know, the water's been kind of a pain in our butt for too long now. We're working on that, and it's going to be pretty cool, and hopefully, you know, get everybody a lot better performance. And then loop progression and game staging improvements. We're going to, you know, more of what we did in Alpha 19 here, but kind of a, you know, using GameSpark's data that we've gathered, and, you know, we're going to really fine tune the progression in loot, and then also tie that into the traders so that, you know, the player can experience a really solid loot experience from day one to day 500 or whatever, you know. So we're pretty excited to get this, hopefully, you know, also shippable. I mean, we made good strides in Alpha 19, but we're really taking it to the next level with 20, and it's going to kind of match what the traders can give you. The traders will probably always have a little bit better loot than what you can find in a POI. So, you know, there's incentive to spin your dukes on stuff, something like that. You know, we're still hashing out all the details, but pretty excited to get this taken to the next level. And even ammo will be leveled, or ammo quantities perhaps could be leveled. So, you know, early game, you might find 2 shotgun shells, and then late game, you know, you find 20, just because, you know, we know they're a lot harder to kill. You're going to need more ammo as you go, and that'll help, you know, keep ammo scarce early game. But, you know, you'll have some, but, you know, use your guns when you absolutely need to. And I think that, and then, you know, use your melee in between those gaps. And I think that's going to really improve the gameplay. And of course, you can always craft ammo and have more ammo that way too, but we're not taking that away. But we're just kind of tuning this, you know, for an overall better experience and getting everything working in progression how we want it to. And next up on the list, we have a character overhaul, and this is something I'm working on and with the art team. And, you know, we're going to show that in a little bit when I'm done with the roadmap here, and we'll round back to that.
Oh boy, there's a lot there to unpack. So just listening to some of these things, and I see it sort of that there are 2 different groupings of features that are things added in Alpha 20, the way I look at it. One, you have things like the Unity upgrade, you have the random world generating pieces, you have microsplat and stuff like that are really more sort of under the hood pieces that you'll see. They're just not extremely exciting. And then you have things that really can be exciting, like vehicle mods. We definitely want that. I want to have a sturdier front so I can ram over and run down the zombies much easier. Having a boost or something, having maybe a larger tank, maybe having weapons that I can attach or something to make it, and allow me to paint the vehicle. That would be really good. Finally, things that are really extra content that you'll really feel when you're playing the game. Things like the shape menu, again, is something that they could make into something that's really cool. I wish they would bring in things from the blueprinting that Madmol talked about, I think years ago now, just sort of a blueprinted building or a piece of a building like a tower or something, and then effectively just place it down much easier than you can now. I don't think that's something that they're going to be doing, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the shape menu beyond obviously just collapsing all the different materials, having all the concrete shapes and everything in one and all the wooden shapes another. I would love them to basically put all the cosmetic items that you see, like the pool table, the mannequins, outdoor grill, swing set, yada yada, all those things into the shape menu as well to allow us to craft them. It's also quite interesting that they're playing around with what they call the feral game sense option, and that seems to be sort of a change in how you apply the AI to the zombies depending on your settings. So dumb ones or really smart ones. That's going to be interesting to see how that actually plays out. And I think this is something that really works well with the biome progression as well. They did a little bit of that in Alpha 19 with Wasteland. It was a little bit harder. At night, you had a free flow of zombies the whole time, which is really, really scary at times. But it's good that they bring that in further, give us better loot. And he talks about having better weapons and armor and everything in the Wasteland, for instance, even from day one. And that goes along with the challenge rating that, of course, the Wasteland is harder. And that's really, really good. Everyone loves new weapons. Pipe rifle, pipe pistol, pipe machine gun. I'm not really sure whether that's really that worthwhile, though. I would rather have make sure that all the different progression tables, like for instance SMG maybe has a light SMG, heavy SMG, stuff like that, give a progression there. Pipe rifle, machine gun seems a little bit weird because, again, it's sort of like, well, what's a pipe machine gun? I mean, come on, how do you even do that? Having water redone, I'm looking forward to that. I really hope that they put in that water zombie or zombie shark or something, and the raft. Please, Fun Pimps, please put that in. You guys talked about that it was almost done in Alpha 19, but you still didn't put it in. So please put that in at the same time as the water. Now, something that I think is really cool and I think was really needed is updating the distant terrain to take into account changes in the world, such as if you build a massive base, you want the distant terrain to actually pick that up so you can actually see that even from a distance. So friends and enemies and whatever can see that from a distance, and I think it looks like and sounds like they've been working on that. So it will actually start updating that so you can actually see that. And if you tear down a building, you tear down a mountain, it will also update the distant terrain accordingly. I wonder how efficient that's going to be, if there's going to be any CPU issues there, but it definitely is something that I will love to see because it is a little bit jarring when you drive around and everything looks good, and then you drive through this field and bam, you have this massive castle in front of you because the game just hasn't picked it up in the distant terrain. And of course, you wouldn't see it until it gets close enough to load. So having that is really awesome.
So zombies will be able to crawl through a 1-block hole.
I didn't know that was classified under that as well. So
it's listed here. I'm just reading the document. So yeah, so zombies can crawl through a 1-meter block.
And this is an interesting part. Obviously, they always work on the AI, which is good. Now, that the zombies can crawl through 1 block space, meaning a 1x1, is going to be really interesting. I wonder if they'll allow players to do that as well, because, well, if a zombie can, why can't a player?
Wandering sleeper zombies. So instead of just zombies always stuck sleeping in one spot, you might have a few roamers. That'll really shake things up. And
having wandering zombies in the POIs, again, it's a little bit back to where we had a lot more zombies around in the environment. It's needed. It's definitely needed, just like before.
Dynamic music improvements, ambient audio improvements, sorry about that. Animation improvements, quest navigation improvements, buried supply quest improvements, and drum roll here, restore power quest, which Lathan is working on. Exactly.
A
So
very low, like, first version. But you're going to see it.
if you want, Lathan, you can
The character.
start showing some characters, and I'm going to explain the new character system to everybody.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to replace the UMA system with a brand new in-house character system, and we're going to do thematic outfits. And basically, all clothing in the item will have some kind of armor rating. So we're doing away with clothing, but we're going to have these outfits that have armor built into them. I mean, and some of them are going to be kind of like basically clothing with low armor rating, and then we'll have heavier duty outfits that are full on heavy armor. So each piece is going to come with a perk when you attach it, when you wear the object. And then we're going to have a completion bonus when you get the full set on, just like we do with our books. When you read all the books, you get a special perk that's unlocked. So this farmer's outfit, you know, your body outfit is going to have give you a 10% chance to harvest an extra crop. And these percentages, imagine quality range. So a brown one will give you a 10% chance, you know, and the orange gives you 20, 30, 40, 50. And then legendary will give you a 100% chance to harvest that extra crop. So that's what how these percentages kind of work out. And then throughout the document, basically, anytime there's 10%, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5%, and then 10% would be legendary. So legendary is always twice as good as blue or pink, purple, whatever. These aren't final. These are just my initial thoughts on this. And as we get a little further, I'll probably refine and change some of these.
And that's really interesting, actually, that they're moving away from the clothes plus armor and sort of into one thing. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And then, I kind of like being able to have armor, but also different looks sort of around that, so you can sort of combine it well.
All right, so here we have a lumberjack, and this is kind of great for chopping wood, use of axes, excellent warmth, and it's a light armor. So your main outfit is going to keep you warm and use 20% less stamina using axes, which is...
Now, one of my big concerns about going this route is sort of like, if they're not equally all good, it's sort of like, well, you know, why would you ever be the lumberjack when you're out exploring? So you'd basically go and drop all your clothes into a chest, put on your explorer outfit, and then you go and use that. And then you come back after you're adventuring, and then you change your clothes again, and that's really cumbersome. But if there's a lot of bonuses associated with the different clothing items, that sort of might make sense.
Cool. Everybody's gonna like this outfit. This is the miner, and this is great for carrying ores and strength build, and it's going to be heavy armor. Miner outfit, crack rock like a pro in this mining outfit, use 20% less stamina with pickaxes. So, you know, all the guys who want to mine, you're going to want this bad boy. And these are going to just look fantastic too. This is one of my favorites here. This is the nerd outfit. It's going to be great for crafting, XP, intellect specialization, and it's heavy armor. So your lack of fashion sense gives you the ability to focus on your inventions. Items have 50% better stats when crafting, and that would be 50% for legendary. Obviously, you know, these are the stats prior to legendary. So if you want to craft better quality items, you get this bad boy on, and it's gonna, you know, really be a big game changer for the crafters. And then the goggles, everybody's kind of familiar with those. They're gonna, you know, give you more XP. There we go. Nomad. This is kind of your adventure. This suit's good for radiation, wandering nomadic style adventure, and it's heavy armor. So this guy is going to be main outfit, going to protect you from radiation and reduce your encumbrance by 10. Obviously, counting on the fact that we get radiation working in the wasteland. So, and you start getting radiation damage, and that's kind of part of the plan. So we'll all see how that goes. And then the scavenger, this is a light armor, and it's good for harvesting, scavenging, and finding good loot.
So what I take away from this, looking at some of the outfits, some of them are looking cool and everything. The nerdy ones seem really good when you're doing int focus, but it looks horrible. Come on, you'll be the laughing stock of Navigator in the world. And I think that's going to be a bit of a pity, because it locks you into a specific look, And I don't know, I don't like that kind of thing. I don't mind having armor having a different look and stuff like that. Basically means that you can customize it and still keep the whole full set bonus. And I think that's a big pity. I don't know. I personally, I'm going to be a little bit ambivalent about that until I see how that plays out, because even though looks doesn't really matter, but it's something, it's part of your immersion into the game and how you feel about the character that you're playing. Maybe you want to be this hulky, big, brainy guy, but nope, sorry, you're going to look like this geeky, nerdy guy because, sorry, that's what the Fun Pimps have decided that you should be. And it definitely seems that you would have to have multiple outfits, because if you want to do mining, you want to have the mining outfit. If you want to go harvesting, scavenging, then you might want to have one outfit. If you want to go radiation zone, yet another outfit. And if you're doing base defense at Horde Night, then maybe you want to nerd it out. And I don't know, it means that you have to have a lot of things in your chest just to be able to keep up with that. And I don't know, that feels cumbersome to sort of take one item off, put another one back on, etc. Just a lot more items that you have to juggle around.
I suppose, Lathan, you can take over now and start talking about the restore power. That's not even nighttime yet. You need to kick it out another 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll get it. Here we go. So now, same thing. See lights. Now this is a very work in progress. So you're going to have to use your imagination on parts. The lights will turn out though. Okay, so it's nice and dark. Ignore that. That should be off, but... So it's nice and spooky now, everybody. Man, that's really spooky. I probably should have... I don't know.
You need a flashlight on your gun or something. Yeah. I'm gonna get wrecked. There you go.
We're gonna reload. We're gonna keep switching back and forth. You got this. Hey, I know there's a guy in there. Come on. Wakey. Oh, or no, there's not. Okay, there normally is. Hey, anybody in here? There you are.
Was he even running? Was he trying to run?
He was trying to.
Okay.
I just overwhelmed him too much. Okay. Oh, and that light's not set to be... Okay, I can fix that. Like I said, this is a very early version of this, but we wanted you to see. Now, this is the generator. It is not going to look like this, obviously. But... Yeah,
we're going to put together a nice model for it. And the lights will come on when you activate it and stuff like that.
I'm now going to activate it. Oh, look, the lights are back on. Oh, that's it. I mean, that's, as I said, with a tier 1, this is not going to be as impressive as, you know, like us doing a tier 4 or something.
This is just a functionality test, really.
You're just seeing that's essentially what it's doing.
But we'll have these for different tiered POIs, and yeah, the harder ones, there'll be several generators you have to activate, right? Yeah. So it will, and we have talked about it, but we haven't decided, but we have talked about this possibly being, or there being versions of this that's night only. I don't think we fully decided, so that may not having
happen.
certain quests you could only do at night. I think that would be awesome way to kind of just add.
It would be really hard to do that with a tier 5, though. Like something that took too long.
Give the player a better reward.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. I mean, people have been asking for more in-depth quests. So maybe this is the first step, you know, repair generator, stuff like that. I wish that they would, again, really push forward with this kind of concept. I know it can take a lot of time to do this right, as you can see. Even basically, you know, there's some basic stuff in there, but it isn't really that deep yet. You know, you definitely want to have more things like, you know, protect some companions, protect the family or something, rescue someone, hold the fort until the morning or something on Horde Night. These kind of quests, I would love to see them. So maybe this is just the first step in that direction. So yeah, definitely good.
So everybody, there she is in all her glory.
It's definitely interesting when they put in new nurses, and this nurse actually looks pretty good. I like that they've updated the texture. Some people were probably hoping that they would do it in a sort of similar fashion as previously, but I understand why they go with a little bit more of a modern way. What I do wish that they would, when they make this new HD zombies that they would put in all the jiggle physics on everything. So, you have the stripper with the boobies. Why not do the same thing with here? And make the stethoscope move around, the hair and stuff like that. So because you have the tech, make it the same on all of them. I think that would really help with immersion.
So yeah, if anybody's got any questions, now would be the time. Drone win. We're working on it, so I see no reason why the drone can't hit Alpha 20.
Yeah, the drunk drone, they said they're probably going to be, definitely going to be in Alpha 19 in a point release, if nothing else. And then they said, well, sorry, we're not going to put it in. So, yeah, what can I say?
Will there be a story for the game? Yes.
Yes.
That's coming probably not till we're gold, that's going to be,
Yeah, story definitely is going to take a while. I don't think they've spent much time on it at all. I mean, they don't even have bandits in.
And we're working on the new Fat Cop. So pretty much, all those old zombies are...
And that's going to be really good. I mean, I think we're all waiting to see with anticipation to see how the new HD model looks for all the zombies.
Bandits will be when they're done. I don't know what alpha. The new character system we are working on will be a core pillar to adding bandits to the game. So once we get this technology done, bandits will be able to use the same kind of armor setup that the players have and equip different parts and pieces based on their game stage.
And that's something that I think it's, you have different ways of dealing with that. If you're pushing bandits, for instance, which are an integral part of 7 Days to Die, at least what people have been wishing for, you're pushing that to the very end because you're saying, well, now we have to get this new armor outfit things to work properly so that we can put that on the bandits. Ultimately, who cares? It's just a function of how good the bandit is. If it's level 1 versus level 5, I don't care what equipment it has. That should be, that's an under the hood thing.
So E20 ETA when it's done.
Yeah.
When it's done, yeah, it's good. I do hope personally, I don't think that's necessarily what they're aiming for. It would be nice to have an Alpha 20 experimental towards the end of December, which is still, a month and a half away, 2 months away, because, it's been 6 months since the previous version, and I think that's a pretty good way to do it, to have sort of 6 monthly releases. That would really, really, I think, make the community nice and excited.
Here's something about vehicle mods. Yes, we've got vehicle mods coming. Expanded seating is going to be one of them, and pretty excited about that one. So we're even kind of redoing the models. And another mod is you will be able to tint your vehicle and color it. So not everybody will be stuck with the same looking Jeep. You'll at least be able to tint it.
And that'll be nice. Vehicle mods, extra seats, interesting, and having the model actually changing, and of course coloring.
We're probably not doing logic gates for electricity. We may add a little bit more to electricity, but we're not adding anything super complex.
And I think that for electricity, I'm not looking for more complexity. I would like it to be simplified, but I would like to have more things, more traps, flame turrets, stuff like that, piston trap. A little bit sad that they don't put in some logic gates and stuff like that, but at least give us more. Give me the flame trap, piston, whatever other traps that are cool and everything that are interesting for the game.
Sorry, guys.
We are adding Steam Workshop integration later. I can't tell you when, but that's on our list. We've talked
probably when we go gold has been
Yeah.
the tentative plan there, just because the game's changing and if people are making mods for a game that's changing, their mods are going to be broken. That's going to be frustrating. So pretty much, and to the users too, So I think once we're at that point, is the Hawaiian shirt guy updated? I believe so, and he's going to have special abilities. Hopefully those come in Alpha 20. He's supposed to be a gasser zombie who has kind of a cloud of gas around him that will start choking the player out who doesn't have a gas mask on near him, and he's going to be able to vomit projectiles and things like that. So
yeah, that's going to be awesome. And we do need more special infected, more special abilities to sort of make the gameplay less, here you have a few normal zombies that all work the same way. Having the different abilities, I think that it does make it more interesting. If you've been seeing me including the Snuffkins boss zombies, you'll see how the gameplay really changes drastically as you're getting all these zombies with different abilities.
Is Alpha 20 the last alpha version for PC? I highly doubt it. And we're going to have a beta version too, and there'll probably be a 21, maybe even a 22. You know, it just depends how everything goes. But Alpha 20 is not the last alpha.
And this is a question that always comes in. So yeah, we're at least Alpha 20, probably 21, 22, etc., etc. There's so many more things that have to come into the game before it's actually going to be completed. And hopefully you've enjoyed this kind of walkthrough of the latest dev stream. And I think there's been a lot of information in that. I've obviously cut it down a lot. I've condensed it as much as I can, but it just takes a really long time to sit there, for me at least 90 minutes, and I did it more than once just to make sure I was capturing it as I was doing the editing and stuff as well. So what is the greatest thing that you've heard about today? What do you really like the most? Let me know in the comment section below, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video all the way here towards the end. And if you are not subscribed yet, I really do appreciate if you do subscribe. And I'll definitely do this again for the next dev stream when they release it, and maybe it's about in 2 weeks. But for now, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you again. Well, we'll see when.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.